Welcome to the Beat Reporter's Inbox on MLB.com, presented by Edward Jones. I'm Chris Haft, MLB.com Giants reporter, with Andrew Becker asking the questions. Andrew, what do we have first?
Well, George is going to lead it off for us. The Giants lost about 30 games by 1 run last season. With the new offensive players and hopefully healthy pitchers, shouldn't the Giants be contenders this season?
Well, that's what the Giants hope is going to happen. They're hoping that these new additions, Andrew McCutchen in right field, Evan Longoria at third base, helped lengthen the lineup, as they say, and make it more productive. The Giants were below 500 in one-run games last year, incidentally, as you noted. But even during the previous 3 seasons, they didn't have a great record in one-run games. So it's kind of deceiving to. I'd watch out. Be careful about judging a team, just by that stat alone.
Next question comes from Lou. Do you think Derek Holland could be named a starting pitcher over Ty Blach?
It's possible. Derek Holland has the edge, of course, in experience. He won big games for Texas during his stint with them. However, Ty Blach is very much a known quantity, of course, with the Giants. They trust him after his performance last year in the fifth spot in the rotation. And so that's one of the biggest decisions, one of the bigger decisions Bruce Bochy and the staff is going to have to make come next week.
This next one comes from Penny. Gregor Blanco looks pretty good hitting and fielding. I have my fingers crossed for him to be the starting lineup on opening day. Do you think he has a good chance to start?
I think it'd be a good chance I think it'd be wise for you to uncross those fingers, help him relax, because Gregor's not going to start. I do believe he'll make the opening day 25-man roster. They have so much respect for him as a player and as a figure in the clubhouse, just as importantly. He's a real leader, and of course defensively, who can forget what he did for Matt Cain, preserving his no-hitter with his catch to the perfect game in 2012 against Houston. But it just doesn't shape up for Gregor to be in the lineup unless there is an injury, in which case, as probably the fourth outfielder, he would step in and be a regular at that point.
This next question comes from Gerald. The Giants appear to be okay offensively, but what about their pitching? Are there any concerns there?
I think there's going to be a big concern with the pitching, particularly at the beginning of the season. With the short, kind of compressed, I guess, if you will, spring training, the starters really didn't have a chance to stretch themselves out, so to speak, in terms of pitch count. I think they came up a little bit short, almost each and every one of them, in their pitch count, and so they'll be using they'll have to rely on the bullpen a lot to start with, maybe for the first entire first month of the season, and who knows what's going to happen, after that even. So it's going to be a tough nut to crack, that the lack of endurance that the pitchers have right now.
Ben wants to know, will the pressure be taken off Buster Posey with the additions of Longoria and Kutch?
I would think almost definitely. They'll probably surround him in the batting order with McCutchen hitting third, Buster fourth, and Longoria fifth. And I would just imagine how much better pitches to hit Buster's going to receive. With McCutchen on base, potentially a stolen base threat, Buster may see more fastballs. With Longoria behind him, if Longoria is hot, they won't want to walk Buster to pitch to Longoria, so he'll get better pitches to hit in that scenario also, which will only help the Giants.
This next question comes from Mike. Do the Giants have a fundamental player development problem to solve?
I don't think so. Their player development and minor league systems get a bad rap, but their players don't get highly ranked in the prospect lists. But you know what? They seem to help the club, ultimately. So I think that's all that's really important for the organization.
Lauren wants to know, what's the future for Pablo Sandoval this year?
I think he has a bright future. He won't start. Of course, Longoria is going to be the regular at third base, but I see a different Pablo Sandoval. Physically, he's in much better shape than he was in recent years, and mentally, he's matured so much. You can almost call him a leader, type guy in the clubhouse, a source of laughter, a source of knowledge. He's helped a lot of the rookie players. He helped a lot of the rookie players when those guys were around before he went to minor league camp. Just with batting tips and how to act and stuff like that. he's a real asset to the club.
Julio's got a fun one for you. How many home runs could Bumgarner hit this year?
40. No, boy, it seems that way. He's the home run distances don't lie. I mean, he's the most powerful guy in the club. But that ad where he's chopping down trees, that doesn't lie either. I mean, that just indicates, reflects what kind of power he has. So, serious answer, anywhere from 3 to 5. I mean, opposing pitchers work him just like a real hitter, a number 3 hitter, but somehow he manages to get the bat on the ball quite a bit.
This next question comes from Robert, who wants to know which Giants pitcher will have the most wins this year.
I'd have to go with Bumgarner on that one. I think he's going to have a good bounce back year. He's throwing a bigger curveball in a lot of situations, which is a good added weapon for him to have against opposing hitters. I think he's healthy, obviously, after the having endured that dirt bike accident last year in Denver on the off day in April, which put him out for 3 months. And I think he's definitely ready to go this year.
All right, this next one's coming from Maddie. It obviously didn't happen in 2016, but hey, Chris, it's an even-numbered year. World Series championship's going to happen, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. The Giants very well could be a postseason team this year. They've upgraded in multiple areas over the course of the year. I think their quality will emerge. But remember what they've got a long way to go to overcome, that 98 to make up the difference for 98 losses last year.
Lisa wants to know, what can we expect from Mark Melancon this year?
I think what they can expect from him is where they can hope for, at least at this point, is consistency, which they didn't get last year. He wasn't consistently on the field. That's number one. They'd like for him to be consistently healthy, and I think if he is consistently healthy, the good pitching will follow.
All right, well, this next question's coming from Kelly. Will Duger make the club this year?
Right now, it looks like he will, but he's so on the edge. It's really tough to say, bottom line. I personally think he needs more at-bats, experience at AAA, but if they've got these last few exhibition games are going to be big for him. If he shows that maturity at the plate that they're going to need, he very well could end up being the opening day center fielder. I don't mean to come down squarely on both sides of the issue, but it's that difficult an issue for debate.
George wants to know, what kind of impact will pitching coach Kurt Young have on these pitchers?
I think the Giants hope that the impact to be a subtle one, where he allows pitchers to be themselves, just brings out their strengths rather than alters what they have to do to be winners. That's pretty much what a coach does anyway, especially at this level. He doesn't have a dramatic impact. It's just a tweaking things here and there, but Kurt had some very good staffs in Oakland, and he was overseeing some very good pitchers. Tim Hudson, Barry Zito, Mark Mulder, among them. There's no reason he can't be have just as much of a positive effect with the Giants.
Amy wants to know that if you feel the decent depth on the team is enough to carry them throughout the entire season.
Well, they're going to need that depth. I mean, that's always the way it is in Major League Baseball. It's a long season, 162 games, and the Giants are a somewhat older team. Not real old, but most guys are in their early 30s. They may not be 160 game a year players, maybe more like 140, 145. Guys will need some opportunities to take a rest, and that's why people like Pablo Sandoval are going to be important.
Christian's going to put you on the spot here. Who's the next man up when it comes to the outfield?
The next, probably, again, I mentioned Gregor Blanco before as the fourth outfielder. I mean, he can play all three positions. If Austin Jackson is in the lineup. If Austin's not in the lineup, then he'll probably be the fourth outfielder.
Will's looking ahead to the season here. If the Giants are in contention by mid-season, will they make more moves to the roster?
I believe so, primarily because they always do. I mean, that's just their modus operandi. 2012, they went and got Marco Scudero and Hunter Pence. Look what they did, what kind of an impact they had as they went on to the World Series. The Giants don't mess around when they are contending. That's just it. It hasn't happened for Didn't happen last year for them, so I think people have almost forgotten. But they pretty much do what it takes to win when the time comes.
Tom's very excited about a new addition to the team. He wants to know how many home runs will Kutch hit now that he's playing in San Francisco.
Well, I mean, the back of the baseball card, as they say, doesn't lie. I don't think he's going to take a quantum leap, but I think they can expect 20 to 25 home runs from him.
Do you think he's going to go hit McCovey Cove at all?
Boy, that's going the other way, opposite direction. There are only a handful of right-hand hitters who've done that. That's going to be tough. Well, thanks for watching the Beat Reporter's Inbox on MLB.com, presented by Edward Jones. Tune in again next time.